Welcome back, my legends, and today I'm going to explain if Bangalore can actually beat a pilot. The reason I'm bringing this up is because the data miners found this animation where Bangalore is seen beating a holo pilot that's using cloak for some reason, and this seems to be the origins of where Bangalore got her heirloom. Now this is interesting because people have been asking if it is possible for Bangalore to beat a Titanfall pilot. Now for those of you who don't know what a pilot is, basically the original theory that people had is that they were super soldiers that are able to control these robots called Titans. Now, what has happened ever since Apex came out is that Manny, one of the former Titanfall writers and Apex writers, confirmed to a fan that pilots are not super soldiers like Halo Spartans, but extremely well-trained grunts, and that's basically Titanfall 2. So, to answer the question, what is a pilot? Basically, it's a soldier that's taken years to learn how to use a Titan inside the battlefield. So, even though it doesn't sound like pilots are anything special, they're still technically elite soldiers that are specialists in the battlefield. So this is important because this applies to Bangalore, because for those of you who don't know about Bangalore's lore, she was once an IMC soldier. In fact, her whole family was basically a military family. For example, Bangalore's mom and dad, their names are Felicia Williams and Ronald Williams. Now, Bangalore's brothers, originally Tom, one of the ex-writers, hinted that Bangalore had 4 brothers. The names were Monty, Zeke, Isaiah, and Jackson. Now, ever since the Pathfinder's quest book, it was kind of hinted that they kind of scrapped 2 of her brothers in Monty and Isaiah, and they just kept Zeke and Jackson. But ever since people found these teasers and Stormpoint about her messaging her family, she mentions Monty and Zaya, which is Isaiah. So it looks like we now can confirm that Bangalore does have 4 brothers, which is kind of weird because she never really talked about the other 2 in the quest book, but whatever. Now, out of these 3 brothers, her oldest brother Zeke became a scientist. He wasn't a soldier, but her other brother Jackson was a soldier. In fact, they were just 1 year apart, and ever since she was born, she always tried to compete against her brother Jackson, and basically she tried to be better at him at everything in a friendly, competitive way, where they developed this long life game called the Scorecard, where basically the winner becomes the ultimate Williams sibling for the person that can do 100 challenges. Now, what makes this very interesting is that Bangalore started her military career at age 16 in the year 2713 with her brother Jackson, which were in the same battalion. I like to think that she lied about her age because Jackson was going to start his military training first, but since people already thought that her and Jackson were twins, she probably just said they were the same age so that way she can start her military training at the same time as Jackson. That way he doesn't get a head start over her. And so what happened is that for the next 2 years they were basically in boot camp, and they did some sort of challenges that really caught my eye. You see, one of these challenges was called First Militia Takedown that Anita won. So it looks like Bangalore was able to take down some militia soldiers, but the next 3 are very interesting because one of these challenges was who can get their own Titan first. That was Jackson. Who can pilot a Titan? That was also Jackson. And who can get their pilot certification first? That was also won by Jackson. Now, this means during those 2 years that Jackson actually became a full-fledged pilot. And so now the question is, did Bangalore also become a pilot during that time? Well, we don't really know. It's not made clear. It could mean that she also got her pilot's license second, but there were not enough Titans to go around, so maybe she just lucked out on that. Or it means that she didn't become a full-fledged pilot, but she did get pilot training, which is still very impressive for somebody who would have been around 17 to 18 years old. Which, by the way, by the end of their 2 years of boot camp, what happened is that Anita actually graduated on top of her class, which was one of their challenges. So it seems like Bangalore did become a pilot, but there wasn't enough Titans to go around because this was kind of towards the end of the war, and I have a feeling that supplies and Titans were very limited. And so I think I can confidently say by this point in time when she was about to graduate, she was at the level of a pilot at this point. So now that brings the question, when exactly did she get this pilot's knife? Because originally in the EA lore, it said that Bangalore took this pilot's knife off a cold-blooded opponent. Now, the wording here is very interesting because it makes it seem that, yeah, Bangalore did get this knife from beating that militia pilot, but I don't think that's the case. You see, I like to think that she actually got this pilot's knife from Jackson. Now, let me explain my theory. You see, my legends, we know for a fact that Jackson is a pilot, and the way Bangalore got this knife is by taking it from a cold-blooded opponent. In other words, it means that she beat this person in order to take this knife. Well, that is exactly what she did to Jackson, because originally in their little sibling contest, Jackson was going to win the ultimate sibling contest contest because their last competition was who can get their marching orders first, and Bangalore learned that Jackson was gonna get his 1 week early, and she was very upset about that she broke the scorecard. And after Jackson saw that his sister was very upset, he kind of canceled the last challenge and said that they were both tied at 99 each, and technically Bangalore wins because A comes before J in the alphabet. So because of that, Bangalore wins the ultimate Williams sibling, although he did say that it doesn't really matter and he both hopes that they succeed in the future and that he's very proud of his sister. And I have a feeling that in this gift that he was going to give to Bangalore during graduation, not only did she get the bottle caps from her family, but I would like to think that Jackson also gave her his pilot's knife in order to congratulating her for becoming a pilot just like him. And so yeah, my legends, Bangalore is capable of being a pilot, and also I think this is where she originally got her pilot's knife. We're going to see if I was right in the next stories from the Outlands, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.